same as normal.
Yeah. Cool. Just one of my jobs for this week is to get them kind of like chopped up and get them on YouTube.
Okay, you can download the whole stream though, can't you?
Yeah. Well, I haven't tried yet.
We all know that Grapetree offers great food at affordable prices. But did you know we also reward our loyal customers? With a loyalty card, you get a point for every £1 spent, equivalent to 2p. And now, until the end of the month, you can get 5 times more loyalty points from every purchase in store. Take this kilo bag of walnut pieces, you'd get 80p towards your next shop. Or this kilo bag of pumpkin seeds, they'd get you 60p.
Is it a skip? Ignore the YouTube ads, everybody. We didn't expect them to come in.
And use that loyalty card.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hope you're all well and ready for a nice, fun-packed stream today.
We've got lots.
All sorts. We've got pages and pages of notes for today.
Yeah, welcome to Silver season.
Yeah, the final 2 Silver events of the season. One last weekend, one next weekend, and it's all kind of 2 years.
It kind of almost polishes off this 2-year season. Can you call it a season?
Season cycle.
2-year cycle, and it's all coming to a head over this month, really.
So we had the Highlander last weekend. We're gonna go have a good chat with Bill in a minute. Have a good recap of everything that went on down there, and then next weekend we have the final silver medal event. So Pig on the Hill down in Wales. I will let Jonathan butcher the name of where it is later on. Yeah, I did it last
week. We'll get to that.
So we're gonna have a good chat about the silver tickets later on. Have another look at the at-large list. Who's lined up for Team GB. Look forward to Pig on the Hill. And finally finish off with other ways that runners can get into the championship team. Yeah,
Big Boys Club.
Yeah, but just 2 and a bit, 3 weeks left, and then we'll have our GBR team. But for now, I think it's time for the headphones on, and we will have, if the magic button works,
say hello to Bill.
A good chat with Bill. Can you hear me, Bill?
I can hear you, Eric.
Yay!
Lovely.
There we go. It worked this time. How are you doing? Have you managed to recover a little bit?
No, it takes a bit of time, Eric, as you know. It's a long weekend, you know.
Yeah, it definitely. I feel like the event weekend is shorter than the actual recovery time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It plays has a big impact in your whole life. The weekend, you know, the marshals as well, particularly. You know, they're not getting a lot of sleep either.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of tired faces when you get to the final hours.
Yeah, the Walking Dead.
Yeah, they really are. I can just picture them all coming down, all the marshals coming down off the mountain, just bleary-eyed.
Yeah, but this is far from your first rodeo, is it? You've well practiced at least.
Yeah, well, the Highlander was its third running, but Rocket Events, we also do a 24-hour race up in Aviemore, and the Great Glen starts at 1 in the morning as well, so there's been a lot of sleep-deprivated weekends.
Yeah, you get used to them.
Yeah, so you must be used to the long days and nights now.
Yeah, I think I'd normally say it takes about a week to go over one of these events, you know, for us as an organiser.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel the pain on that one.
It'll be that.
So you say it's the third outing that you've just had. It kind of feels like you've been around for a lot longer than 3 years. I don't know why. I don't know if because COVID got in the middle, but I kind of picture like you and Suffolk and Lionsgate were like the 3 that were kind of always
the originals.
Yeah, always there.
Well, there was obviously, I'll use the term loosely, the Twat in Orkney. That was the first one to be set up with Sarah Scarr from the team up there. And I get involved in the backyard probably by a wee bit of default with Sammy Day.
Yeah.
My phone, he asked me if I knew of any routes, and I sent him some routes thinking that he was going to setting up the event, you know.
No, you wouldn't mind, would you?
And then about 4 months later, he says to me, "What you done about that route?" I went, "Why are you asking me? I thought it was for yourself." He went, "No, we want you to organise it."
So maybe say that in the first phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it seems like you guys have been around for a while, and you mentioned Orkney Backyard. They're on hiatus, I think 2026 they're coming back now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one that we're definitely looking forward to. We're going to be heading up to that one for sure, as soon as they open those entries.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the return
we
of Orkney.
literally just hear good things from it. And yeah, we've obviously never been, so it's one we're very excited for.
Nice one.
So yeah, now that you're a week out from the event, almost caught up with sleep, but how did it go overall from your point of view? Were you happy with everything?
Yeah, well, Blair Athol Estate and the castle is obviously a working estate, you know, so you run the risk of things getting changed at last minute, and that's what happened this year. Every 2 years they have the World Scout Jamboree at Blair Athol, and this year there was anything between 2,000 and 3,000 people there over the weekend. So our field that we run from in the last couple of years was very, very close. So they actually moved us at lastminute.com. So a bit of a panic attack a couple of weeks before the race to go and find a suitable route, which still encompassed about 85% of the original route, you know. So not too much of a drama, but
It's just not helpful, is it?
No, definitely not.
They think we'll just change where they start, but that changes everything.
Yeah. So like the week before, or 2 weeks before, we were back running around the route and 2 or 3 times to make sure it all worked, you know.
Yeah. Well, good job. You
and
seem to have nailed it.
Yeah, and it seemed to go down really well. I mean, you always seem to be in that kind of like 35 to 40 yard range, and obviously no exception this year. So the route definitely paid off. All that last minute work definitely worked. Yeah,
but as I say, we're still about 85% still in the original route, you know, and it's a tough route for a backyard. I'll say that, and it always amazes me when we get the guys going to nearly the 40 hours sort of thing, you know. As I say, it's got a flat section, an uphill section, and a downhill section, you know, just to keep everything interesting.
Yeah, and it works, and hopefully, fingers crossed, next year you can have someone jump over into that 40.
Yeah, well, we've got the Four Nations coming back next year. So Scotland, England, Ireland, and Wales will compete again, which brings a good broad spectrum of guys. It's no in the mid 40s up to the 50s sort of thing to the table, you know. So
it's definitely possible.
Yeah, it was good the first year round, you know, when we done it at Blair Athol, and then obviously we drew straws. To see do it once a year rather than the 4 times a year, you know. So, so it'll be good to have the guys all back next year.
Yeah, back to the original Four Nations, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know. But no, it's going to be interesting to watch, especially because Cowshed was the home for the Four Nations this year and got rained off pretty much. But it's I think next year's definitely going to be. Everyone's going to be biting for those big numbers with all these big runners coming back again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much so. We've still got Cowshed to go this year, and the Four Nations will take place in September the 20th, I think it is, from memory. So the team we'll gather the team together. A lot of teams will be affected. More so is because we've got a couple of guys champing at the door for the UK team, you know. So they might make it or they might miss out, you know, just depending on what happens in the coming week.
Yeah.
So we had a reasonably good chance of possibly winning it. Sammy will not like that. Winning it in April, but obviously there's a couple of team players, maybe possibly 3 players, runners who could possibly be called into the UK team. Well, Mike Raffin's one of them. He's got a silver ticket already, you know. So
we were talking the other day about how many good runners there are up in Scotland in terms of backyard.
Yeah.
And it just seems to be that they just seem to be getting better year after year.
I'd say it's really kicked off nationwide, like all up and down the UK, but in Scotland there's just runner after runner that's capable of 30 to 40 yards. Just really strong.
I think when we went to Castle Ward the first time and Sammy asked us to get across in the Four Nations thing, we had runners there who came to Glenmore and probably other 24-hour races who'd done well into 100 miles, you know, but the backyard, as you know, is a crazy format, having to be in the line on there every hour, you know, which takes people out of their comfort zone. In a 24-hour race, you just keep going until the 24 hours is up. There's an end to that one, you know. With this, there's no end. So the team's growing, you know. We've went from obviously people doing 25 and they're now up to 35 and now we're up to 42. So there's in the Scotland team just now there's probably at least 8 of them are in the 30s, you know.
Very strong field.
And like you said, year on year, it just seems to be increasing. Like you just look back 2 years ago, and like just the average finish for most backyards in the UK. You know, if you were lucky, you were in the 30s. And now it seems it's getting to most of them are kind of tipping over into 40s now.
You can't even get on the at-large list without a 38.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of the Scottish team kind of topping up nicely into the 40 realm in the coming months and years.
Yeah, there's a few determined folk looking for that, so there.
Yeah. So obviously you said you've got your other events. How do you find putting on a backyard compares to your other events?
I always find that the races like Glenmore and the Highlanders, it's quite easy because you're centralised. It's when you've got a point to point and you're shifting yourself up, maybe a 70-mile route or something like that, and checkpoints open for 5-6 hours waiting for people to come through, So, it's good to be in a central position where everything can be contained, spread over 70 or 170 mile as it is with one of the races. It's just coming off the ground. It's a challenge logistically,
Yeah, I can imagine it's almost it's kind of easy compared to the other ones.
Yeah, I don't think many race directors would take on a backyard ultra and be like, this is a nice one.
This is one that I'll relax at. So I think Jonathan pointed out that there was a marriage proposal.
Yeah, one of the runners
at your backyard.
He did 17 yards and then got down on one knee. From what I've seen.
Yeah, is there any kind of story behind that of why he took the proposal there? Is he kind of a regular runner?
Well, in truth, it was there's two of us at the backyard who do the mic work. Myself and another guy, Brian Jemison, who does a lot for rocket events, gives up his time and drives vans and comes and sets up and things like that. So he was on the mic at the time. I was away doing other things, probably trying to catch a nap.
Yeah.
So he was on the mic. So I believe it was the lad Joe and his girlfriend Chrissy, completely out of the blue, to say the least. Just happened to pop the question when he finished his 17 laps. The poor lad was looking to go maybe up to 30, but he'd not been keeping well in the run up to the race. So that's why he chucked it at 17.
It's still a cracking effort.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, it's still 16 more than I can manage, so... that's kind of a nice little surprise for everyone.
Congratulations to them. Brilliant.
Yep.
So mentioning your help there while you were having a cheeky kip, you mentioned quite in detail on Facebook your thanks extended to all of the marshals. You seem to have a lot of good people helping. It's not just good support from people, it seemed to be good support from good people, and that must make the whole thing just so much easier.
Yeah, I think the scenario is Scotland's got a good a good range of races: West Highland Way, the Highland Fling, the Devil of the Highlands, and the guys, they all go to these events. They all support these events. They don't just come to rocket events. We go and help other race directors. So they've been a really close-knit nucleus since obviously COVID. Because when you started opening up again, you were restricted to obviously numbers, even in the marshal side, and you're obviously implementing things through COVID as well. But there's a good nucleus there, and obviously people like to drop in and help out when some marshals can't make it at times, which is understandable. But no, I think, as we always say, we can't put these events on unless these guys give up their time.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have such a community like that. It's such a desirable location. I think what you've got there is just fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but no, it's obviously from experience with ours as well, the marshals can make or break an event. Like, it doesn't matter how much work or effort you put into it personally. If you look after your marshals and your marshals are happy and they're willing to come back year after year after year, that's probably 80% of what a lot of runners come back for. It's that kind of
support on the route.
Yeah, that community that you kind of built through people.
Yeah, definitely. The race in the Great Glen, if I was to offer someone else a checkpoint that's or somebody else's checkpoint, I would probably have them at my door if they hadn't been offered. But as I say, yeah, honestly, the 6 checkpoints have been manned with the same people for the last 6-7 years. And if I say to them, no, you're not getting your checkpoint, they'll be around to say, why am I not getting my checkpoint?
That's fantastic.
You'll be like, what's going on here?
Yeah, definitely.
That must be such a selling point for your event. I mean, there's quite a few selling points for your event. I mean, there's a location under the giant castle, the Highlands.
Yeah, just being able to have, like, I can just picture the runners rocking up every year and just getting to the same checkpoints, and they know exactly who's going to be there.
David,
the same support year on year out, and that really probably makes your events even more special than they already are.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the marshals are runners herself, obviously. The likes of Fiona Rennie, who's got 18 West Highland Way completions and various other races. They stand at a checkpoint about 61 miles into the race, and they're there for about 6-7 hours, and it's midgy infested. It can be raining. You know, and people are delighted to bump into Fiona at this checkpoint, you know, checkpoint 6 on the Great Glen, you know, and get to meet the person and thing with, you know, because she's a bit of a legend up here in Scotland.
Brilliant.
No, it's a legend to kind of have at that one. So obviously we touched on some of the great, like, kind of almost like selling points and things to look forward to at your backyard. What is probably in your eyes one of the most unique things about your backyard ultra compared to any others? Is it the location, the route?
I think it is the location and the route. As I say, that it's not a route for the faint-hearted. You know, the hill takes it to the limit of what our requirements are. You know, the 450 and things like that. Yeah, you could possibly just go over it by any means, but as I say, when you've been up this hill 37 times, as Tommy says the other day there, he went, I was starting to get sick of it, you know. So yeah, it's a challenging route, and as I say, the location. When we're at the castle, the field we're normally in, during the summertime, a piper comes out on the hour, every hour also.
Oh, wow.
And that's just by chance. We didn't realise that at the time. And
Just started happening.
You know, it's been there all the time. It comes out, as I say, 10 o'clock in the morning onwards, till the place shuts. I think the last time he plays is about 3. And there's a stunning photograph of 3 Scottish Team Scotland runners running by the castle, clapping him as he's just about to turn off playing the bagpipes, you know, because he actually comes out and walks the path a wee bit, you know. So
amazing.
You know,
that's something else. That's brilliant.
So it makes for it. One of the challenges there is obviously Blair Atholl's a very tourist attraction, you know. So we've got to have markers outside the castle to make sure nobody's unintentionally crossing the path of the runners and vice versa. You know? So. Crowd control.
Crowd controls and bagpipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one that has been on my list to want to come up to, even just to spectate for so long. But obviously being down in middle of England, it's quite a trek to get up there. But it's we purposely blocked out where we think your event's going to be next year, just so that we've got a weekend free to pop up for it.
Yeah, I mean, we'd offer to come and marshal, but I wouldn't want to step on anyone's toes.
Yeah. So, from this year's event, what was one of your probably more favourite points? Any surprises that came out of it, or is there any certain point of the backyard that you look forward to year on year?
I think it's just to see what the guys can do, you know, in a challenging course. As I say, it beats me. I mean, the first year we ran it, okay, it's a slight different course, you know, and getting 39 hours out it, or 39 yards, you know, I just find it phenomenal. Guys can do it on that sort of course, you know. It's not a flat course by any manner of means. As I say, the hill takes you to your dark places, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's a challenging route, and I think I'm in awe with some of these guys managing to go up there 39 times, you know.
Yeah, it is incredible what some people manage to do.
Absolute feat. Yeah.
So, I don't think we've seen a date for 2025 yet. Have you got one set?
Yeah, it's the 19th of July next year.
Perfect. I don't think we've got anything on. That is perfect, because we just moved our event over to the week before, so yeah, we will see you there.
All right, nice one.
Awesome.
So yeah, 2025 date, 19th of July.
When would we expect to see entries opening up?
Normally the end of September.
Lovely.
Excellent. Anything else you want to chat about, or
any shout outs?
No, I don't think so. As I say, I'm indebted to all the marshals that we have, you know. As I say, they're there all the time. We've got Glenmore 24 coming up just shortly, and then our last race of the year's in November, the Glen Ogle, where we have a wee Cayley at the end of that, just to sign off the year before we think about 2025.
And then it all starts again.
And it all starts again. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, Bill. It's been lovely to have a chat with you.
Yeah.
And good luck with the rest of the events this year. Hopefully the weather's not too horrendous for the November ones.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
No worries at all. Take it easy, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Toodaloo.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers, Bill.
Bye.
So
all
that
right
was
then.
Bill Heirs of Rocket Events.
Take off the headphones now. Yeah, lovely chat with Bill. It's always nice chatting with the backyard directors.
Yeah, if you're looking for Highlands Ultras, What better place? Check out Market Events.
Did you get? We might have a picture of the castle.
It would have been in last week's folder.
Okay, then we don't have
We'll get back to it.
we don't have a picture of the castle.
But it's what a location.
Yeah, it's
giant, like painted white castle with bagpipes on every hour.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. Yeah. So if you want in a beautiful location, a beautiful, tough but beautiful course,
a difficult route with some fantastic runners,
and bagpipes every hour, then the Highlander is definitely the one for you.
Yeah, get up there. We'll be there.
Yeah, we'll definitely be there next year. But yeah, great little chat with Bill. And now we can have a good old chinwag about the results and how everything went down. You can start.
Yeah, I should probably let everyone know where you can find out some information. There's all about the Highland group. There's a Facebook group called the Highlander Backyard Ultra Scottish Championship 2025.
Just a mouthful.
Yeah. We'll get that linked into the chat, the comments. Yeah. And there's comments, stories, pictures, blogs.
There's a lot of runners who've done very grateful kind of, recaps and enjoyment posts.
Yeah, so if you want to have a dig through kind of Highlander as it was happening, then that Facebook group's a very good one to do that. There's also, Mike Raffin had kind of a YouTube video essay type thing on the event.
A vlog.
Of vlog. It's 8 or 9 minutes long. It's very digestible, but it's got the drone shots. It's got short interviews with people. That's very good.
Yeah.
Get that linked in as well, so you can have a full catch up of.
Yes, boss. I'm on it, boss.
Of everything Highlander, and if you've got a backyard coming up, and you've got a blog, a Facebook page, a group, live streams, anything like that, shoot them our way, and we'll put them out in our little streams.
Yeah.
So if you've got something coming up and you want to kind of share your Facebook group, let us know.
So, Scottish Highlander recap: 104 sign-ups for the event.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that gurgled. 104 sign-ups for the event. The estate in Blair Athol, hosted by Rocket Event, and they had, I think it was 86 on the start line.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to smash out those yards on a very tricky course.
Yes, it's 400 feet of elevation on that course.
Yep, it's a toughie.
Which, to be honest, in the Highlands is probably the best you're going to get.
Yeah,
I imagine if you are a Highland-born runner who's used to running out there, you'd be like, 400 feet? Yeah, don't worry about 400 feet.
It's like a walk to the shops, pretty much, for a lot of Scottish people.
And they very consistently pull off 35 to 40 yards.
Yeah, as proven this weekend.
They didn't buck the trend. Nice and consistent, 35 to 40.
Yeah. And as Bill mentioned, next year it is going to be the home for the Four Nations. So Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. Wow, nearly forgot 4. They'll be sending their best runners up next July to try and compete against each other and crack out the most yards.
That'll be good.
Always good fun to watch. The winners, the top 5. I'm going to butcher the name, but Thomas Hugan. He took the win with 37 yards. Mm-hmm. Personal previous PB, from what I found, was 27 yards back at Orkney.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2022. Absolutely smashed out an extra 10 yards on the PB.
Yeah, so congratulations to Thomas Hugan. Perhaps.
Sorry again.
Apologies, but 37 yards on a pretty tricky backyard course.
Yeah. And the assist came up by Rebecca Horman. Again, smacked out a pretty epic PB from
10-yard PB.
9 or 10 yards. 37 for Thomas. He took the silver medal, silver ticket, which means he'll be the one going to.
It secured his place in the championship.
Team GP, yeah. So it's as we were saying earlier, it's what 2-3 weeks now till the cut-off. So these last few events, everyone is pushing themselves.
It's coming down to it now.
Yeah. So Thomas and Rebecca, they were the win and the assist. Alan Risk, 33.
We don't know a lot about Alan Risk, but he's got no previous plus 24 yard run.
I'm sure Mike Raffin will pop up in chat with some some extra facts on Alan for us. But yeah, 33, and if that was his first one over 24 yards, that is
incredible.
a pretty big one. And then Donald McRae.
Nope, you missed one.
No.
Ivor Normand with 31 yards came in fourth. He seems to be a Highlander local. He seems to like it there. Did 26 last year, which I think was his PB. So 5 on his PB.
I think he was one of your favourites looking at the videos.
Yeah, I was in Mike Graffin's video, which you can find probably in the comments there now. You'll see him kind of bouncing around at the start line, running backwards on the course like this, just having a great time. And he did it with no assist team.
Yeah, no,
so
yeah.
He knocked out a 5-yard personal best, 31 hours of running with no one pushing cake into his mouth.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It's mad. I think we saw very similar at the Rasselbock one. Julie Bethune, she came down with no crew and ended up third seed, I think.
It happens.
But yeah, absolutely smashed out a new PB for herself. Yeah. And so it shows that you don't always need a team. A team helps.
I think a lot of these very good solo runners go, yeah, I did a really good job, but if I had someone putting cake in my mouth, it would have been easier.
Yeah. Micah said Ivor cycles to the start. Because, running...
warm up.
Yeah, running 31 yards.
He seemed like such a good character from what I've seen in this video.
Yeah, so we'll catch him next year, I'm pretty sure.
And then rounding out the top 5, Donald McRae with 26. I think new PB.
Yeah, I think definitely.
Couldn't say what it was before.
We couldn't find any results on the Backyard website for him previously, or at least none that were over 24 yards. So yeah, it's looked like it was a really, really good event. One thing we do want to talk about is how different it could have been, because obviously Rebecca Horman and Thomas, both, they're both going for it. Rebecca Horman is Swiss-US nationality. So she was vying for a spot on the Swiss team.
Yeah, she's running for the Swiss spot.
Yeah, so she wanted to get as high up as she could, so she'd get her place kind of guaranteed. And then Thomas was running for GB as well. So it just shows that if it was flipped the other way around and Rebecca won and Thomas came second,
then the silver ticket wouldn't have been handed to any of the runners, and everyone would have shifted up one.
Yeah. So from what I remember, I think it might have been Julie might have been able to squeeze on. Let's have a quick look. Yep. So Julie would have got her place back on the team. Sorry, Julie, again.
But it's just how the dice landed.
Yeah. But it's great seeing the little things that can change things massively. Just those two being the other way around would have changed the Team GB lineup.
So. Yeah, it's Rebecca Horman with the assist and Thomas Hugen.
Hugen.
I should have checked
Sorry,
this. He's an Orkney runner. So he lives up at Orkney and he likes the Orkney backyard because everyone will like the Orkney backyard. It's incredible. But I think while they're on hiatus until 26, he's down in the Highlands.
Yeah, down south in the Highlands.
Yeah. And he knocked it out of the park. He crushed it with the win.
I like how in the chat Ian said, Julie says stop rubbing it in. Sorry, Julie. I'm sure something will happen. You'll get bumped up. I promise. Maybe.
You can't say that. But both of these two, the podium crowd, they've been on that Facebook group that's linked in the chat with so much kind of gratitude and humbleness and thank yous. Anyone that's said well done has had thanks. It's just, it looks like a very nice little community, and the top runners, they've done little posts and blogs and stuff, and it is all very like, oh
yeah. So it's on our list for next year to go and explore Blair Athol.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Not just great runners, but great people.
Yeah. So Jonathan's been at it with the graphs again. I will let you take over.
Bring up the graph.
Bring up the graph.
This is all of the runners as time goes on. So starting off with 86 on the start line. No one dropping out for the first 3 hours. So we get our little purple dots in, and every little purple dot is another runner DNFing. And you can spot kind of the milestones at 10 double figures, 12 hours and 24 hours. They're the biggest drops. I think there's around 30% of the people that dropped out between 10 hours and 12 hours. It's probably like a little window of achievement.
Yeah.
If anyone's got a good name for this window of 10 to 12 hours, put it in the chat, because I feel like it should have a good name.
Well, you kind of always expect people to... Like, the first goal for a lot of people, especially on the ultra-wise, is to hit that 12-hour mark, because that's the 50 miles. So it's a shame sometimes seeing so many drop out at 10, 11 hours. Like,
when they
almost make it.
Yeah.
I mean, you say they could have made it. Try running 10 hours and then be like, oh, you could have just done one more.
But they have got to be the big milestones. It's double figures on the hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, and probably after that looking at like 100 miles, landmarks like that. Which is, I think, is a 25 yard, which is another big chunk.
24 hours is the 100-mile mark.
That adds up, yeah.
You should know this. You've done so many backyards now.
It's what we do. And then you can see, I think the last 12 hours is populated by the same 6 runners.
Yeah, so it always tends to be you get to the 24-hour mark, and then people are like, you'll see a lot that drop out at the 24, and then you'll see another chunk drop out at the 25, because you want to do one more than 24.
Yeah.
Just so they're like, I didn't drop out at 24, I did 25.
Yeah.
And then after that, it becomes like just a very slow kind of patter out of runners.
Yeah. I'd be interested to graph out these and try and find like a data line average of kind of what percentages drop out between which chunks. Maybe for next stream I'll have a real deep dive on the numbers.
but then you also have to take into account the courses at each different event.
Yeah, the weather. I think there was about 8 hours of rain throughout the night. I don't know where they were specifically, but I think between 8 hours and 16 hours, where there was a lot of... It scoops in the numbers.
But speaking of the elevation, Jonathan very quickly managed to...
very last second.
Managed to create an elevation chart.
Apologies to Manchester, London and Gosfield. In my mad frenzied elevation hunt, I couldn't find you. I will update it if I can. But it seems like for the last few weeks we've been saying, oh, this one's got so much elevation. And then this one's got so much elevation.
But if you look at the top 5, you've got Breakheart, Big Owls, Longbridge, Fackham, and Pig on the Hill, which is next week's the elevatiest of the bunch.
The
one with the most elevation.
No, my way.
But yeah, like you look at those top kind of 5 or 6 elevation wise, and they're all in like the summer months, minus obviously. Minus Longbridge in the winter, which is the same route, but it is interesting to see.
I've posted this graph in the UK backyard group as well, so it's not like it's going to disappear forever once we finish the stream. It will be worth noticing that Suffolk on there is it's got one more at that route, if I'm right.
No, I think from what I could tell from Lindley's post, on the old route at Suffolk, there's going to be no more.
They're done.
It's done.
Okay, I got the wrong end of the stick there.
But from what we gather from Lindley's post, all of the Suffolk events are now going to be in Thetford Forest.
Yeah.
Including this year's Golden Ticket event.
Yes.
So it's going to be quite interesting seeing the GB team take it on. You obviously know it's a new route that none of them are going to have done before. This is literally the first.
It's just a complete overhaul.
Yeah.
It's not a rebrand.
No, but it's new location, new route, new everything. So.
Yeah, and Elevatia.
Yeah. How you've obviously looked at this.
It's going from 80 feet per loop to 300. So it's substantial, but it's still within kind of the bottom third of the Elevaties.
The elevate. You need new vocabulary.
I'm enjoying the one I've got.
So it's going to be really interesting seeing how the runners get on at the Thetford
I wonder if there'll be kind of a jump in kind of like average results.
Yeah.
If it's a nicer course or if people prefer the old one. We don't know until it's happened. So.
But yeah, we'll obviously get all the lowdown of the info in October.
We'll have a a Suffolk deep dive, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it'll be
It's such
before and after.
a significant event in the UK calendar.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. It's not why we're here today.
No, we're still not even got to the final crux of the UK team yet. That is coming in next weekend.
Yeah, August the 3rd. Pig on the Hill.
Pig on the Hill. Good old Pig on the Hill. But yeah, that's coming up this coming weekend. The final silver ticket event, and also the final. Actually, no, it's not the final one in England, but we'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
But it's the final one in England, but not the final one in the UK.
Yeah, we're kind of, the door is closing to get in on this team.
But in terms of silver medal, this is the very last silver medal event. It's based in Wales. Jonathan, your turn once again to butcher the name.
It is in Pwllheli, Gwynedd in Wales, which, if you don't know where that is, because I said it wrong, it is west of Snowdon. It's out there. So it's right on the coast, kind of North Wales. It's coastal, it's very remote. You go there and you camp. Facilities are limited. And it's just a very cool coastal venue. You set up your tent and you run a backyard.
Yeah. A note from Vic, who lives in Wales, said not bad. So there we go. You didn't butcher it. But Pig on the Hill. The reason it's called Pig on the Hill is quite literally because there is a pig on the hill.
I think the pig has fallen into a state of disrepair.
Yeah, he's fallen on hard times.
Last pig update that we had, it had fallen over and some of its legs had fallen off. At the moment, we don't have a pig update, but other than I think someone has propped it back up again. But as reports come in, we will keep you up to date with information on
Piggate.
Piggate, live reports.
Pig on the Hill Gate. So Pig on the... Wow, I was going to call it Piggate. Pig on the Hill. This coming weekend, they have a lot of runners.
I mean...
A lot of names that you'll recognise, a lot that, they're trying to go for that.
Yeah,
it's
spot. Kind of the last big shot at getting up on that large list or getting that silver spot, and people want it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good people that want it, and it's a difficult course.
Yeah.
If we bring up the graphic again with the elevation, it's the one at the top.
Yeah.
To say it very professionally, it is the elevatiest. Out of all the backyards in the UK, and we've really been having some hilly backyards recently, this is
topping out.
Yeah,
almost 800 foot of elevation.
Every hour. It's a lot, and there are going to be a lot of very, very good runners trying very, very hard to be better than the other very, very good runners.
But if we have a look at some of the names to watch, we've got Richard Thompson, who was the winner at our very, very first Rasselbock one. Mm-hmm. He's got current PB of 44 at Suffolk last year.
Suffolk.
Currently 9th on the at-large list, so technically
I'd say he's safe.
He's safe. Unless something insane happens. But
he's
again,
a very competent runner that doesn't need the win, perhaps, but he can.
Yeah, he will definitely be
just
going
because
for
he
it.
doesn't really need it doesn't mean he might not win.
Yeah. And then Andy Ims, current PB this year at Portland Pig, 39 yards. Mm-hmm. Currently 12th. So you think
so it's closer. He's safe.
Yeah, you think 39 yards, you'd be all right, but
no, I think if you get 38, you're on there.
Yeah. So yeah, Andy is. I'm pretty sure he's definitely looking to cement a stronger position in the team. And
if you get that silver ticket, no one can take that away from you.
Yeah,
that's yours.
Yeah.
Ian Bethune.
Yeah.
PB of 37 at God's Own 2 years ago. Another very, very capable runner, is just outside the at-large list. So I would hesitate to say we'd get at-large list runners with the elevation. But he's going to want that silver ticket because it's going to be so difficult to get those at-large numbers.
On a hilly course. But I know the Bethunes are watching. Is Judy going to be crewing you this time? Because if so, that will definitely help out on keeping you in there.
The other notable name that I had was Paul Fenn, who is at the bottom of the outside of the at-large list. So he's a 37-yard at Suffolk guy, but he is 21st on the at-large list. He's a very capable runner, but if he wants to get into the team, I think he'll be one to watch as well.
Yeah. So, and then Vic Owen as well, PB of 36 at Rasselbock. She's running the 12 in 12 backyards this year.
12 months to run 12 backyard ultras, and she's getting good at them.
So like she's definitely learnt on how to pace herself and how to deal with.
I guess in terms of the first 12 hours of a backyard, she'd be one of the most experienced people in the country.
Yeah. So again, another one to watch. So I think there's going to be 5 or 6 who are all going to be vying for that silver ticket place.
Yeah, because I think that's probably the only safe way to get into the teams now.
It is. I want to say it's almost impossible for one that hilly to get to 40 yards.
I think 39 will get you on the list. And it's going to be so unlikely for this event to get to 39.
But again, you never know. It could be perfect weather, perfect conditions.
Maybe one of the hills isn't there.
But you just never know. Never know what's going to happen on a backyard day. So it's going to be a very interesting one to watch, for sure.
I think a few other notable names that might not be in the winning position, but Gavin King will be there.
Yeah.
Probably alongside Vic.
Tend to run
joined
a lot
at
together.
the feet,
Darren Clarkson. I'm sure everyone knows Darren.
If you don't know him by name, you know him by it's this guy.
Yeah, so it's that guy with the hair. And also George Parkin's going to be there.
Yes, who is not on the at-large list. But I think he's
close.
He's quite prolific. He's been about.
He's been about.
So there's names that people might know there.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be a very interesting one to watch.
It looks like a really cool event. Just out in the sticks on kind of like the cliffs, the coastal area. Yeah. There's a pig on a hill.
Of course. Wow. I mean, what more do you need?
And I think the winner gets an axe.
Because again, why not?
That's worth running for.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a shame you don't actually get to keep the pig that's on the hill. That's your trophy.
Quite a lot.
You finish, and then they send you up to get your trophy at the end. You have to carry
the trophy.
It's
up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be too expensive because this is probably, if not the cheapest, one of the cheapest backyard entry fees in the country. Its value for money is through the roof at this place. I think it's £36 to get in. Yeah. Which I don't know how they do it.
Vic has mentioned there's some wild cards with local runners who are used to this route as well. So
some names that we've missed.
We've definitely missed names, but
no, we always do. We pick out names to watch, people that we can pick up on, but then you look at the top 5 a week later and you go, I know 2 of these.
Yep. So yeah, some of the other things that we mentioned, that it's not the final chance to get in the GB team.
Yeah, it gets funky.
like a fine cheese. But yeah, if you look over to Northern Ireland, they got the All Ireland Backyard Ultra Championships on the 10th of August.
10th of August.
So basically, if you are Northern Irish, then you get the choice of running for Team Ireland or Team GB. So they have to announce beforehand which team they're aiming to be on. But they do get the choice, whether they want to be Ireland or Team GB. So there is definitely a chance.
I haven't done a dive into who's there, how far they could go, anything like that, but they can get on the UK list.
So once Pig on a Hill is over, that is still not the guaranteed starting list.
We are 98% done.
Yeah.
But there's 2% there.
Yeah. But there is also UK runners who are running in other countries. So I think Luke Carter is running in the heavy metal backyard.
In Estonia.
In Estonia. So if you remember, Luke is just outside. I think we've got the...
bring the list up. He is on the cusp.
Yeah. So Luke Carter is, as it stands, in the team. But again, all you need is one more change above Luke and that'll drop him down. So I think he's heading over to Estonia to try and trying to cement that big
just in
yard
case
number in.
There's opportunities for him to be bumped out, and I don't think he wants that to happen.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, there will be people who either can't make the Team GB or they can't make the gold medal event. So there is a high chance that Julie and Ian, who's 17th, and Luke as well, can all get in just from that simple fact. But to leave it down to just that, it's very risky.
But if you are a UK runner that wants in the top team and you haven't thought about this, start shopping around for other silver events around the planet.
Or just any event around the planet, not just silver.
If you've not got long. The door is closing, like we said.
But then again, if you're wanting a spot on the British team and you haven't thought about it so far, you probably don't want it that bad.
No, well, you might not have noticed the rules for this whole thing are.
Yes, yeah. If you're coming in, if you're coming in and you've never done anything about backyard before, it can take some understanding.
It can be a little overwhelming. We want to make up like a booklet, a rule book for runners and one for directors.
Yeah.
For just something to explain everything, because it can be dense, it can be overwhelming.
So that's something that's on our list for
one day.
Within the next month, we'll put a little booklet together for everyone just to help explain what goes on. Yeah. But yeah, that is it. We are through the notes. Another almost hour long.
Yeah. I didn't think we'd ever get to the end of our notes today, but we've done a good job.
Does anybody have any questions? Any particular things that they want to have a chat through? Now is your time. Get them in the comments.
There is a Facebook group for Pig on the Hill.
I will do that.
We can drop a link into the chat, but it's findable.
Jonathan's not very good at vamping. As soon as I say to him, keep talking while I find this link.
Yeah, I make notes. And when the notes run out, the stream is over.
Not very good at thinking on his feet too much.
No. So we've got links to check out in the chat. There's Pig on the Hill coming up. There will be updates live through that chat, and you can follow along. And then there's Highlander that happened last week, which you can look at and relive the event, kind of in not live, but in fast forward.
Looking at the chat, Mike is saying that the Pig on the Hill course is on an ancient axe factory, which is why the trophy is an axe.
That's brilliant.
It's pretty cool.
I missed that.
Mike engraved his with the name of the event. It's in the downstairs toilet, just in case. Just in case of what, I'm not sure, but so that is pretty much it.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll be back. We will be back.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely be back.
At some point after Pig on the Hill.
I would say Wednesday.
Let's not say a specific day because we'll miss it.
Professional, always professional. But yeah, probably midweek. Wednesday, I think, will probably be the one.
Maybe we'll do a full kind of at-large deep dive, all the silvers. Yeah,
we'll have a look at the results from Pig on the Hill. We'll also have a look at the All Ireland, who's Northern Irish, who's going to be hopefully going for Team GB. And then we'll also have a deep dive into maybe some runners who are on the list, but kind of who are going over to like Estonia.
But by that point, not set in stone. Yeah, but it's large list
pretty close by that point.
Yeah, we can start breaking down the team.
Yeah, which is going to be exciting. All right, well, in that case, I think that's us done.
With no further ado,
we will say goodbye and have a great week for those who are running in Pig on the Hill. Have fun.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy the hills as much as you can.
If you don't have a choice.
Yeah, you just got to keep on going. We'll be back midweek next week to dig through all the results and the juicy gossip.
Awesome.
Until then, have a great week and we will see you soon. Bye.